execution of leases, and also regarding the state and federal regulations. In boating and docks, same verbiage added in closing of specific sections per resolution and compliance with public health and safety. Also in docks, or boating and docks, those following along up here is page 10 now.
Thank you.
Section D, or Section 4D, no lease transfers permitted. So yet again, that was similar to the campsites where we had lease transfers permitted for certain circumstances to specific individuals. This updates that no lease transfers are permitted. And then in the trails section, page 12, added the same verbiage in regard to closing of certain sections per resolution of the board. And then that also references and highlights to the ATV and equestrian trails. So like I said, these came out of a recommendation from the legal team. There are some changes that will affect, like I highlighted, transfers will no longer be permitted under this, and it also opens up some opportunities for us to be in compliance with guidance from the water company.
Sounds good.
Any questions regarding the rules change? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve with the one change that we noted on page 5, that horses are not permitted on equestrian trails.
Moved. Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So with the approval of the rules changes, those go into effect immediately. Those are will be passed on and posted both at the campground, and we'll get those updated and posted on the website after we get the one amendment there. So with that, that leads directly into the west side closing per the request of the water company. So like I mentioned before in their previous meeting, the water company requested that we close the west side to ATV and horse trails by the end of the year. Talking with Carl and the administration, there's an interest, I think, in being proactive on this. And that's one of the things wanted to have board discussion on. Do we want to over deliver to the water company, try to build some good faith here, try to get ahead of some of these things that they're implementing. There are no events out at that side of the lake for the rest of the year. There may be some reservations that we have to adjust or potentially offer a refund if there's any reservations at the Indian Hill site. But I think that's something we could accommodate. But wanted to have some board discussion on thoughts if we want to wait till the end of the year to close that, or if we want to get ahead of that and do that here now.
No, I personally want to show the water company that we are making strides to make them see that we are being proactive, and it might sting a few people that have vested interests in ATVs and horses, but for the whole of the reservoir, I think it's the right way to go.
We'll have board discussion, then we'll have some open public comment here on this one.
Yeah, I would agree with what Shannon said. I think we hate to do it, but we hate to limit recreation. We're in the business of trying to allow people to have as much recreation as possible. But given the concerns and given the importance of the lease and the availability of Prairie Creek for recreation, just period, going forward and with concerns that the water company has expressed, I think maybe showing good faith by acting now and not waiting. There's no events scheduled, and this is going to have to be a long-term change. So it makes sense to go ahead, I think.
Agree.
I also think people need to acknowledge that we are leasers. We do not own that property. So we're really at the mercy of the water company. And we want to be good stewards of the environment and with our partners. So.
I know with the water company presentation, they referenced as well as there's been a hands-off approach for a long time, kind of on both sides. Been a lot of handshakes, a lot of verbal
Agree.
conversations, but not a lot of documentation. So I know that's some people feel that it's been this way for a long time, but we've not been able to produce any evidence or anything that would hold up in a court situation that these are permitted per the lease. Water company has expressed interest in reviewing the lease, and that's something that we're continuing to work on and how we continue to make changes both for the city and the Parks Board and for the water company as well. So, any other discussion from the board? Public comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to, you got close to answering it. Why did they ask to, like, what's the issue that they're trying to solve?
So the west side of the park is under, let me look, under a wildlife preservation area. And they have concerns, the water company, obviously, their main focus is the preservation of the water source for the city. So that includes any runoff, erosion, water quality. And their opinion was the horse trails and ATV trails did not comply with the original lease and did not fit under their interpretation of the wildlife preservation area. So that was one of the main requests that they had in the initial presentation, that west side be closed for access for those activities.
I see.
Yeah.
Am I able to ask any more?
Yeah, you can ask another question, certainly.
Okay, this may take us back a little bit. Or should I wait? So I don't
We
want-
can, yeah, you can ask another question relevant to it, yeah.
Well, this is not, well, I would like to know where the west side of the Prairie Creek Reservoir is, but I need to look at a picture for that. Other than that, I'll wait for more input because I have a couple of questions about some previous discussed
Okay.
things.
Yeah, so the west side is where the Indian Hillside is, where the equestrian trails are, and where the ATV trails are. So this is not the area that's the multi-use trails. It's not the beach house. It's not the campgrounds. It's not the office area. So it's just the far west side of the lake.
You know,
Yes.
Yeah,
one thing I think that's important too, that we want to be sure and recognize, there has been no discussion that the ATV users have done anything wrong. In fact, they've fully complied and been good citizens. Same thing with the horse activities. There's not been any allegations that we need to shut this down because of misconduct or misbehavior, and so this is not to be punitive in any
No,
way.
no.
And we want to make sure our citizens understand that.
Yeah, that reminds me, I had another question about the same topic. How do you intend to get that information out to the public?
It's going to be difficult. As you know, our local media, the paper, doesn't always report everything, and not everybody takes the paper. There's social media. Obviously, this format is where all the Parks Board items are discussed. But that's something that we're going to have to work through and push. And there's, I won't say there'll be a grace period, but there'll be an education period on people that are coming out. I know our Prairie Creek team has got some contacts within those circles. The equestrian club is already aware of it. I know I've had personal contacts with some of the ATV individuals, so they're aware that it was scheduled for the end of the year. but this is a little bit different. So we're looking at the remainder of 5 months here. That would be a change that we're proposing. Any other public comment?
Christopher Bilbrey, I just wanted to bring it to your attention that the feed cut out right before you guys started talking about the changes. So nobody that's watching has a clue what you guys are talking about. And the doors were locked. I about broke them off the hinges trying to get in. So this is a closed door meeting technically right now. No one could get in. So I thank God a police officer was out there or I wouldn't have got in. So you guys might want to do something about that because it's a serious issue.
Mark, you got any update on audio or video? We're back up? All right.
Nobody knows what's going on.
I checked with audio, video. It sounds like we're back online. Mark, I guess if we've got any other issues, let me know and we can adjust accordingly. All right. Any other public comment regarding the west side of the lake, including the equestrian trails and the ATV trails? If not, I would entertain a motion. I guess the next question will be is, do we want to have that effective immediately? Do we want to do August 1st, or what do we want to do as a closure for the west side?
I move that we close it immediately.
Got a motion?
I have a question.
Yeah.
If we close it, if we were to do it immediately, what does that educational grace period look like?
Well, I think what that would look like, or where the guidance I would have, we'd probably need to review with the legal team as well, is that we send out a notice tomorrow to the circles that we know, probably the equestrian president, and any contacts we've got with the ATV club, let them know immediately. And then it would just be to continue to inform users that do show up. We'd need to terminate the availability of the campsites on that side. We need to reach out to anybody that does have a reservation between now and the end of the year and refund those accordingly. And give people notice if they show up. I mean, it's going to be an education period to get that out there, to let them know.
So my thoughts are, if we did it August 1st, could we use this time to that time to do that? And then have that immediately effective by August 1st?
I think that would be appropriate as well, yeah.
I like that idea, and that gives us a chance to post on the website. Friends of Prairie Creek may even want to post on their site, just to let everyone know. I think this is one of the things that, especially in light of what we may have just
Yeah.
learned, we want to let everyone know as much as possible and be able to answer questions and not have anyone think this is something that's trying to be pulled,
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
behind. So maybe August 1 still shows extreme good faith, I think, but allows us to also show some grace to people who may
That we're
not know.
starting. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Okay.
So I move to do it effective August 1st
Okay.
with educational grace between.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right. Nikki and Kelly and Carl, if I can task you guys with trying to get some posts out and updates on that on our social medias. I'll work with the city media team as well to try to get that posted and out as well.
Okay.
So that was the west side, closing per the request of the water company. The next item I want to talk about is the potential suspension of the lottery for the 26 season. So as we talked about in the rules, we did adopt and approve the termination of transfers, or suspend the transfers. The other item that was brought up with the water company was, what is the carrying capacity of the lake, both in the docks and the campsites? We don't have a number for that. They've not provided a number for that. And this would be another abundance of caution if we were interested in suspending the lottery for the 26th season. Yet again, trying to give ample notice, letting people know that that's not going to be happening in the 26th season, and certainly something we can reevaluate, but trying to be proactive and be on the front end of this with the water company.
Brad, I think one thing really important, the water company has invited the city to participate in discussions, and there has been no determination as far as what the appropriate number is of the lotteries. And it seems kind of like it would be inappropriate for us to allow lotteries to take place until we really know what number we're having. So that's part of the reason I think for this, is to engage with the water company and work together in a way that's proactive for everybody.
Because one of the things I would hate to see is that we have a lottery and we fill up the campsites for next year, and they come in with a number, and then we have to make a decision, how do we get to that number? Would not be a good situation as well. So I think that's kind of what we're looking at. So, any other board discussion regarding suspension of the lottery for the 26th season? Any public comment regarding that? If not, I would entertain a motion to suspend the lottery for the 26th season.
Moved.
Second?
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. So then the next item I want to talk about a little bit is the Prairie Creek budget. I did receive a year-to-date budget and past two-year budgets from the city controller, shared those with the board. We are headed into the budget season here, so I know I've talked to the administration and Carl as well, that they are open and willing to take comments and feedback from this board. I know that time is rapidly approaching, but something we just need to be aware of as being the fiscal body of Prairie Creek there. Kind of leads directly into rate review of the docks and campsites, and also the events and launch fees at Prairie Creek. Knowing that there's going to be some changes with the west side being closed and a likely reduction in our capacity next year, that will affect our budget. So we need to plan accordingly and look at our rates. I don't have any solutions today. I know I've conceptualized a couple of different ideas, and a few of us have talked individually about different ways we can approach that. I'd really like to see that maybe in our August meeting to try to get ahead of that as well. I know in the past we've had discussions into November and December, and it really puts people in a tight spot coming up at the end of the year. So I'd like to get ahead of that for the next season as well. I know a couple ideas that I've conceptualized and a few of us have talked about individually is having either a stipend for electric or some kind of monthly service charge for the electric. Right now, we don't charge anything. It's lumped into the campsite fee. A lot of the other sites are metered sites. That's not feasible for us at this time. but we could quantify a price based on some of the electrical charges out there would be one way to justify or come up with a number that makes sense and is quantifiable. Same thing with the docks. Historically, you've rented the dock, and that's your fee, and you don't have to pay the annual launch fee. That's essentially included in your dock fee. I know a lot of the boats stay out there, but they could bring it in, take it out. I know the annual launch fee is $150, so there may be a stipend or some adder in relation to the docks in regards to the annual launch fee. Talked about those two. The other item I've got on the agenda there regarding Prairie Creek is the winter storage. This relates back to the water company's comments as well. We don't know what we don't know and what that's going to look like. I think as we approach the end of the season here, we need to evaluate if we're going to offer winter storage this year and what that looks like moving forward. So. Any questions, discussions from the board? Questions, discussions from the public? Yeah, yeah. Pretty much anything we've talked about, if you got additional questions.
Okay. You guys got a lot going on in this board meeting. I just have one observation that may have already been solved, because I haven't been out to Prairie Creek in, I think, a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. But when I was there, the overgrowth on the banks was pretty bad. And along the rock edges, in previous years, a lot of that was just cut down, and it made it easier for people to get to where the fish actually populate. It's been kind of rough this year. So that's one observation. And I don't know if that's been taken care of already. It'd be nice if it was. One comment, this spring has been oddly bad for fishing. And I don't know if there's something going on with some of the things that you guys are addressing, that the water company is asking to be addressed. But this has been a rough year, and spring is the hot season for fishing. Every kind of fish, just about. It has been dry as a bone out there. Typically, you can get crappie, yellow bass, catfish if you know when to fish for them, walleye. I mean, there's a number of different things. I mean, it's been dry out there. One more. This is probably a question more for Carl. The Bewley Center. So the Wiley neighborhood is working with Muncie Arts and Culture Council and some consultants from Indianapolis to install 3 art installations in the neighborhood.
Yep.
Okay, Bewley location is one of them. There has been a question posed, and I think Carl may remember this, is there a possibility to get the sign replaced or refurbished? Because the new art installation is going right behind the old sign. And you can already see the concern, new art, new landscaping, the sign's deteriorating in front of on the corner right there. So there was a inquiry, and it's just an inquiry. Is it possible to get that sign either spruced up, replaced, refurbished, or whatever the case may be? And I think that's all I had. There was 3 different things. The fishing part is probably my biggest concern. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
Well, I'm not a fisherman. About the only thing I can catch is a tree bass. But that's we've had comments from other fishermen as well, and that I don't have an answer for that today. Yet again, it relates back to the water company, and the erosion control is a concern, and we don't know where they stand on some of the issues at this time.
In relations to the signs, I don't know if you guys have rode around town and looked at some of our signs. The sun has really baked quite a bit. I've seen the last 2 years more so than I had previously. And we've made some changes on some signs, but I would think that all of our signs that directly impact the entry to our parks are probably in need of upgrade and even changing of the structure. We got a call, Nikki, was that from Morningside, about signage there that had been, I guess, somewhere in some garage, put away somewhere. But the street department was responsible for that particular location. Wherever Morningside wanted that sign at. We put one up years ago, but it was very small, and it was like directing traffic to that particular park. But then there's a nice big sign once you got into the park as well. So, and then I did get an email from a committee at the Bewley Center today. They were talking about the sign there at the corner as well. So to have conversation with everybody about signs, I think it really would go along the lines of beautification for us to have some nice signs throughout our whole park system.
I know we went through a couple years ago and updated several, but not all of them.
Correct.
So maybe that's something we need to look at as we move into the budget as well. As I'm sure there's some economy of scale if we're buying more than one. I know you mentioned
9,000.
the Heacon sign as well, and
Yes.
it sounds like we got maybe some identification of some of
And
the
some of those,
sites.
like, I'm gonna say like Jack's already has the framework in place. So it just would be the sign label itself. That'd be a lot cheaper.
Okay.
And then some of them have wooden frames that are old. I think the Bewley has a wooden frame casing. So that one could probably be easily replaced and just removed altogether. So,
Yeah.
but sign inventory is definitely something we could do.
Thank you, Carl. Any other event approvals or action items from the board? I don't see any names on the list. We got any other public comment out there? See none. Any other items from the board?
No.
Carl, you got anything else? We'll give you one last chance. All right.
I will say, just in reference to the budget, that we would have some feedback and try to get ourselves in a better place. If they approve, then we're good. If we're not able to get increases, then we just have to see how the grants line up. But we do need dollars to continue to beautify our parks and add staffing, things of that nature, because we are growing. That's one thing, since we've all been here, we've had a lot of growth in the area of Parks and Rec. So with that, it takes dollars, so.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Certainly, if you need anything from the board on that, don't hesitate to reach out to us. No other comments? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned.